Hi guys, Paul here with Patek. In this video I'm going to show you the top 7 camera bag types you should really consider or at least be aware of in 2021 before you rush out and spend your hard-earned cash on those Black Friday sales. I'll share some pro tips I've learned over a 30+ year career to help you buy smart, and I'll share my #1 secret to help you determine which bag is best for you. I'll also show you what I've learned about choosing a good bag and what you need to steer clear of. With that said, let's jump into it. So as of November 8th, 2021, I whittled this list down to about 7 different types of bags that I've used over the years and are worthy of including in this video. And the first one that we're going to talk about is sling bags. And not to be confused with side access backpacks, we'll cover those when I cover backpacks. So sling bags for sure have been very popular over the years. I have 1 or 2 of them, only really 1 sling bag that I actually use to this day. Used to have 2, didn't find I was using the older one. And so we're going to talk a little bit about slings first. The next and probably the most popular category is backpacks, including side access backpacks, which I'll cover in depth. Roller bags for sure, and then roller hybrids. What does that mean? A roller hybrid would be a camera bag that's a roller bag. You're going to take a trip on an airplane. It's got 2 wheels or 4 on it. And it also has straps to convert it into a backpack. So we'll cover those as well. Another category, I've got 2 or 3 of these bags, are single-use bags. So this is a camera bag you might strap onto your chest and just have your, Sony a7 III with a 7-200 lens on it. You're skiing down a mountainside. Or a smaller bag like a doctor bag that opens up and holds, maybe the camera and 1 lens, something like that. Belt systems are hugely popular, and this is something that I use to this day. I have a belt system that's in my daily rotation, and I'll go through those with you as well. And last but not least, good old shoulder bags. Where would we be without our shoulder bags? Although, as you'll hear as we move through this list, I don't use my shoulder bags as much as I used to, but we'll definitely do justice to this category as well. So first category is sling bags, and what you're looking at is the only sling bag that I own after a 30-year-long career. And the reason for that is I haven't found sling bags of any great use to me other than if I'm traveling on vacation. However, this Kata T212, which is no longer available, you might be able to get one on eBay or AliExpress or something like that if you can find one. Kata was bought up by the VTech Group, which is a company that runs Manfrotto. But this bag is awesome because it's a perfect bag if you want to do street photography. You can just put your camera in the bag and away you go. It'll even fit a smaller DSLR. I've even had my Nikon D200 in here. And it's got a couple of neat pockets. There's one hidden pocket here, like so, and there's another one down this side. But what I like about it is that once I've got my gear in there, I can just move it out of the way. And it's effortless to use. It's actually part of another system. This actually will connect to a Kata backpack, which I own, and you're going to see that later on in the video. But as far as I'm concerned, sling bags, you don't see professional wedding photographers using them or anything like that. The only time they're of use to me is if I'm going to do street photography. I just want to have 1 camera. Going downtown on the train to do street photography or something like that. This bag is really handy. You can move it out of the way. And the other use is vacations. Now, here's your first pro tip. When you go to buy a camera bag in 2021, you see this nice bright yellow color? There shouldn't be a camera bag made today where the interior of the bag is black, because all of our camera gear is black. You're not going to be able to see your equipment easily. So make sure that if you're buying a camera bag, you want like a beige interior, something light that's going to allow you to see all the bits and pieces inside the bag so you don't lose them. All right, so the next bag type up for discussion is backpacks. Where would we be without these? I have no idea. If you're a novice photographer, a beginning photographer, you're wondering, of all the bags that are out there to buy, If I was going to give somebody advice today, I would say get yourself a decent backpack. So we're going to look at 3 different categories of backpacks here, and I'll try and give you as much information as I can as to what to look for on these different backpacks. So we're going to look at the Kata R104, which is no longer available. I've had this for over 10 years, and I just can't, bring myself to part with it. We're going to look at the Vanguard VO Select 49. I just did a video on this. I'll put the link here for you. And then we're going to look at, last but not least, I've got the smaller Urban Approach 15 backpack, and I'll tell you why I have these bags, what's good about them, and what you need to watch out for. So let's start with the R104. Okay, so first up, do you like the overall appearance of the bag? Kata products have always had kind of a tactical appearance to them. And just so that you know, Kata no longer exists. The VTech group that owns Manfrotto bought Kata out. So if you're familiar with the older Kata bags and you look at the new Manfrotto bags, you can see the similarities for sure. But the styling of this bag really appealed to me when I bought it, but the functionality is just phenomenal as well. These camera bags are built like a tank, all heavy-duty material, super weatherproof. I wouldn't say 100% waterproof, but they really stand up. Heavy-duty zipper pulls, everything is just built. You couldn't kill this bag if you wanted to, and I've had it for a long time and still use it to this day. And a lot of the different bits and pieces on it meet my criteria for what a good camera bag should be. For example, the shoulder straps on this bag are amazing. It has the pulls here so that you can pull the load in tight to you up top. It has the sternum strap. It has the loops where you can mount your camera and have it out of the bag and still have your gear here. Because let's face it, you're doing nature photography, you spot a deer. If your camera's not out and ready to go, that opportunity is lost for sure. So heavy-duty strapping. The ability to take the bag, it has the loop, you can put it over top of a roller bag for sure. Good ventilation, heavy-duty padding on the back. And then it becomes, well, what's the capacity? This bag will carry a laptop if you want to do that. It's got a great heavy-duty handle on the top here. It has the ability to carry a tripod. It's got some additional pouches. It has MOLLE loops on the side. You can attach other bits and pieces. And then it fits my number one criteria, which is a high-vis interior. So this bright yellow, Kata called this, they coined the name yellow for some reason, but it's a bright yellow. I absolutely love it. I wish every bag made was this color, or at least a lighter color. And you'll hear this through this video many times. Any camera bag manufacturer making black interior bags is just wrong in the head. I'm sorry, but camera equipment is all black. You need a light color interior so you can see the bits and pieces. And then you've got transparent pockets here for storing different bits and pieces. And if I close this one up, it has this kind of a quick access right down the middle. So if you've got your camera with 70-200, you can get quick access to that as well. I don't want to do a detailed review on this bag because you can go to the channel and you can take a look at the full in-depth review that I did on this bag years ago. But that's the criteria for purchasing this bag. Now, why would I move away from this in 2021? Because this bag weighs 7 pounds. It's quite heavy, so it's got a bit of a heft to it. And that's why I updated recently to the new Vanguard VO Select 49. So let's take a look at that now. Okay, so Vanguard VO Select 49 comes in 2 colors, $150 from B&H. This bag weighs 3 pounds. It's super lightweight, only 2 colors, black and green. My favorite color is green, so I mean, I honestly, I probably would have preferred a gray or a black, but when I bought this bag, I think Amazon actually had it priced incorrectly because I got it for $160 and it was selling everywhere else for $200 in Canada anyways. When I said 150 B&H, that's US dollars. But yeah, so I saved a few bucks when I purchased this. But it ticks all the boxes. And this bag is a little bit different than the Kata because it has 3 ways to access the bag. You can pull your camera out from the top. Nice heavy duty handle on the side. It has side access. And then it has my preferred method of operating, which is open the flap and you got a nice light colored interior. So when I said in the video I'm going to reveal my #1 secret, and you'll hear this probably a few times through the video, what I meant was you have to decide what's your style of photography. So if you're shooting sports events, football games, you're probably going to want to go with a belt system because you're going to have to be ultra mobile. But for me, I typically work out of a backpack or a roller bag. And so if you look at this, I don't even have it set up so I can access my camera through the side. I'll never use that feature of this bag. I'll use the top access and I'll use this configuration here. And that's pretty much it. And this bag ticks those boxes for me. So that was my main criteria for this bag was, you know, it had a little bit more capacity than the Urban Approach 15, which I was using for my Sony Alpha kit, like my A6000 kit. And so I want a little bit more capacity. I wanted a bag that was pretty close to the width of my, you know, shoulders, because a little bit more width gives you a little bit more capacity. And that's why I chose this bag. And to this point, I haven't been disappointed. So let me just throw this on. Another thing you'll see me do later on in the video, so it's got the sternum strap, but when you look at the height of this bag, I still have room to wear a belt system, and I have a belt system that I absolutely love. You're going to see later in the video. So those are all considerations. So you've got the R104 type, which we looked at already, which opens from the front. This bag opens from the back. You know, think about those things. And then you've got some interesting access features on this bag, whereas, you know, this thing here goes right through. That's another neat feature. So all in all, my criteria for purchasing this bag was style, functionality, price, capacity. And that's something, you know, all those things you have to think about when you're going to make a purchase. So now let's look at the difference between, like, you know, why I jumped to this bag from the Urban Approach 15. So right off the bat, you can see with the Urban Approach, and make no mistake, this is a great bag. All three bags that I'm showing you, the Kata R104, the Vanguard VO Select, and this Urban Approach 15 from Think Tank Photo, they're all, you know, premium quality bags. Go out and buy any of them with confidence. But this is a little bit smaller, a little bit narrower. I'll put this one on for you so you can see. It has the sternum strap. You can put an extra little pouch on here if you want. And you can also work with a belt system if you want. You've got that capability. But on the interior of the bag, like all Think Tank bags, it has that nice light gray interior with the blue accents. So you can see all your bits and pieces for sure. And you can carry a laptop on the back side of this against your back if you so choose to do so. But just keep in mind, a laptop, you know, anywhere from 2 to 4 pounds, depending on the laptop that you want to carry. And so you really have to think, how much weight do I want to put into this bag? How much equipment do I want to carry? So this thing was great when I had my A6000. Then I switched to full frame with the A7 III. With the A7 III, you know the routine, right? You start buying lenses and bits and pieces for it, and the system grows. And so I had to switch to the Vanguard. And even though these are backpacks, this is the way I use my backpacks most of the time. I put them on this shoulder, I walk out to the car, throw them in the trunk, take them out of the trunk, go to the chute, and away you go. So there's a rundown on 3 different types of backpacks, giving you enough information to make an informed decision on, you know, which style of bag that you want to use, which style of backpack for sure. And then after that is, you know, do you like the look of the bag? Does it tick all your boxes for you? Hey, then that's the camera bag that you're going to buy. And again, my advice for any beginner, of all the bags out there, whether it's shoulder bags, belt systems, slings, what have you, if you want to know what my #1 choice would be for a beginner, here it is right here. Not necessarily this Think Tank bag, but a backpack, because they're so versatile. Roller bags. Where would we be without a good roller bag? First thing to consider when you're choosing a roller bag: 4 wheels or 2? Is the handle integrated into the bag, or is it a separate carry system like this one and it fits over a sleeve? That's important. Now, if somebody came to me today in 2021 and said, hey, Ball, which bag would you use? If I'm doing a travel for a week through an airport, what have you, I'll take 4 wheels over 2 any day of the week. It's just effortless to roll these bags. And any kind of resistance when you're carrying a lot of gear is going to create fatigue over the long run. So there you go. Next thing you want to consider is, again, light colored interiors are way better when you're carrying gears. You can see everything so much easier. You know, does it have accessory pockets? Does the bag carry a laptop? Maybe you're somebody that wants to drag a laptop around with you. I personally don't. I take camera gear only 9 times out of 10. Unless I'm doing a long trip, then I have other provisions for bringing my laptop with me. Do you like the look of the bag? Is the bag big enough for the capacity of gear that you want to carry? These are all basic questions that you want to consider when you're looking at roller bags. Next up, we've got hybrid rollers. These are kind of an interesting category. So let me think now. This is the airport takeoff, and I call it a hybrid roller because if you open this zippered flap here, this has backpack straps. So hybrid is something that's going to morph from just a roller bag to a backpack. And I found this bag, and still do, extremely useful. I have it in my day-to-day rotation for sure. If you want to go downtown someplace, maybe 80% of the time you're pulling it by the wheels. But then if you got to go down into the subway or something like that to get around downtown, having the backpack feature is a tremendous benefit. So don't overlook that. Now, something I didn't mention on the roller section, and you know, with any roller bag, whether it's a hybrid or a roller, you want to make sure that you got good heavy-duty handles on it. Do you have handles on the side? Because maybe you're stuffing this into the overhead bin on an airplane. Do you have a mounting system for your tripod? And this one has, this gives you the best of all worlds, with the exception that it's only 2 wheels and not 4. And then it really comes down to, you open the bag, and does it have the capacity for the amount of gear that you want to carry? And maybe you want to carry a laptop, and if I recall, this one meets that requirement as well on the front. So that's another option for you, looking at a hybrid roller. And just look at capacity, interior color, does it have backpack straps, and that's it. So that's one more thing that you should consider. If I'm not traveling on an airplane, then this is a great choice. If I'm traveling on an airplane, then I definitely want 4 wheels to go through the airport. But you know what? Maybe I'm doing a short flight and I'm going to do some street photography in another city and I want that backpack feature. Then by all means, this is going to be a consideration or something on my checklist to look at. So another important camera bag type that you really want to have in the back of your mind, or at least be aware of in 2021, are what I describe as single-use camera bags. Now this one here is another think tank bag. It's the Suburban Disguise 20, and I currently use it for my GoPro kit. So all my GoPro and my accessories go into this bag. Yeah, it does fall into the category of shoulder bag, if you will, but I look at it as a single-use bag because basically my A7 III with a Tamron lens on it, and that's pretty much all I'm going to get in this bag, maybe one other lens. So I look at it as a single-use camera bag. And a better example of single-use would be this Low Pro. This is a Low Pro Top Loader 75AW. And this is kind of a cool bag. It has a strap that you can use to throw it over your shoulder, but this bag could also be mounted to your chest if you're skiing. You can get a harness for it. And it's basically, I use it quite often when I've got my camera with a 70 to 200 millimeter lens attached on it, and I just want to take it in the car, but I don't like to have my camera just sitting on the passenger seat. So I can put it in this bag. But I can also take it out in the field and use it as a shoulder bag. But it really is a single-use camera bag, and it has a slot on the back where you can mount this thing on a belt system if you wanted to and carry it on your side. And I've actually done that in the past, and we'll talk about belt systems in a minute. And then you've got the advantage of, you know, taking another lens pouch and you can attach it to this bag if you want to grow the system a little bit. But so that's just one more tool that you should have in your arsenal, or at least be aware of. It may be something you'll want to consider. I mean, when you're starting out, the number of camera bags or the types of bags that are available on the market today is just daunting. How do you know what to choose? So one of the things that I said was I'd reveal my number one secret to help you choose the right bag for you. And the secret is knowing the style of photography that you like to do. If your style is open the flap and shoot out of the bag, then you want a backpack with a flap that opens up and go from there. If you're the kind of person that wants to travel super light, then maybe one of these single-use bags is what you're looking for. But you're going to have to do a little bit of experimentation, unfortunately. This video is just designed to help you make a really good first choice. So now we're going to look at one of my very favorite ways to carry my camera gear, and that is using a Think Tank Photo, Pro Speed Belt, and a skin set pouch system. This setup is absolutely awesome. The flaps on here have little silencers, so if you don't want to hear the Velcro sound, you just flip the thing over and cover it up. But if you want to carry an extra lens, if you want to carry a flash, I mean, there's different pouches for different size components. I just used this recently on a photo shoot, or a family photo shoot last weekend. And another feature of it is that it's a great way to distribute the weight if you got a lot of gear. So instead of putting everything in the backpack, you can use a Pro Speed Belt and a backpack together and distribute the weight. And I'll tell you, I mean, I've taken this thing on vacation if I'm going to do long hiking and that kind of stuff. It really, you know, takes the weight off of your shoulders. There's nothing worse than having a ton of weight on your shoulders for any length of time. Just ask any military guy that's carrying, you know, a rucksack full of rocks in training or something like that. But this is a fantastic system. I absolutely would not part with it. And in addition to be able to just wear it around your waist, this belt system has little eyelets. And the eyelets come with a strap system that you can put over your shoulders. So if you're going to put a lot of weight in these pouches, then you can use the strap system, and that puts a little bit more weight off, takes it off your hip, and kind of distributes it between your shoulders and your hips. But all in all, it's a great system. These are skin set pouches. So it's part of Think Tank's modular system. And again, I wouldn't part with it. Be aware of it. It's another tool that you might want to have in your arsenal at some point, the more that you move towards being a professional photographer. So finally we come to everybody's favorite, and that is shoulder bags. Where would we be without our shoulder bags? And I'm no different. The one thing I'll tell you is that I use shoulder bags a lot more often when I was first starting out. Okay, they're easy. You can throw them over your shoulder. You know, you can walk out to the car. My shoulder bag now, my shoulder bag of choice now, is this backpack. I'll load it, throw it over my shoulder like that, head out to the car, throw it in the car, from the car to the chute and back. So that's something to think about. Now, why would I make a statement like that? Because when you take a bag like this, this is the Retrospective 30 from Think Tank, and it's a great bag. Absolutely love it. Love the appearance of it. Okay, it does what it's supposed to do. Comes with a traditional rain cover, all that good stuff. You can even carry a small tablet in this thing, but keep in mind, you're putting all that weight onto one shoulder. You really want to do that? Think about it. In some cases, it may work for short spaces, short shoots or something like that, no problem. Another thing that you may want to consider is a little bit lighter shoulder bag like this one. Between these two, this is the City Walker 20, probably my most used shoulder bag. It's just a little bit thinner than this one, a little bit lighter weight, and I just seem to reach for it more often than this one, but they're both great quality bags. Now, one last option I'm going to give you to consider, and I kind of put it in here with shoulder bags, but it's kind of a hybrid between a shoulder bag and a belt system, and that is this is called the Think Tank Photo Speed Racer V2, and on the back of this bag it has these two zippers like so, and you can reach in here and you can pull out a belt system. And that belt system has MOLLE loops on it. So you can have the best of both worlds. I mean, you can have this over your shoulder, like so. And you can also have get some support from the belt system. So, and I've used this one quite a bit. I used to ride motorcycles a lot. I was doing some photography where I'd be on the back of a motorcycle and I didn't want this strap in my way. So I would wear a bag like this, and then I'd be able to carry a camera and a couple of lenses. So shoulder bags, pretty much a mainstay for any photographer. Just take a good look at them and don't get carried away, because the bigger the bag, the more the weight. And then look on the interior of the bag. Nice light colored interior, so you're going to be able to see and find all your bits and pieces so that you can work efficiently. Holy smoking wieners. I have to apologize. I wasn't planning to make this video as long as it's turned out to be, but I wouldn't be doing due diligence if I didn't cover, all of the basics. Just remember that the video is intended for beginners. I mean, not that somebody like an intermediate or an advanced photographer can't take advantage of all the tips and stuff that I put into this video. Certainly you can. But my intention was to help out somebody who's new to photography. And so, the first thing I would say to you is, my number one secret is figure out the style of photography that you like. So for example, if you're a sports shooter, like you want to shoot football games, then maybe a belt system is going to be the best thing for you. But I would say by and large, for the general population just starting out in photography, find yourself a backpack. One that fits your frame, has a lot of the features, or as many of the features that I talked about in this video, and you really can't go wrong, because the backpack is, it's a backpack, but it's also a shoulder bag as well. And then maybe you want to use the Sling feature. So you really can't go wrong with a backpack. So I would say for any beginner, take a look at a backpack, and you won't be making a mistake. So next up, if you found this video useful, don't forget to subscribe and like. That helps me bring more content like this to you, and it's no cost to you. And then next thing I would suggest is, just because I've covered all this material in the video doesn't mean you can't ask questions. Advice is free. So drop me a line in the comments or shoot me an email, and I'll try and get back to you as quick as I can. Thanks again for watching. Watch out for that COVID thing. Make sure you're vaccinated, and I'll see you in the next one.